everyone, welcome to my canal. My name is Crystal Bedoya. I wanted to start this channel to kind of share my story of how it's been like to live with multiple sclerosis. I want to talk more about what MS is, what it does to the body, and how it's impacted my life. A little background about me. I am 26 years old. I live in a border town that is located where Arizona and Sonora, the Mexican state of Sonora, meet. Okay, so what is MS? So MS is basically a disease where the immune system eats away the protective coverings of the nerves, which is the myelin, that causes nerve damage, and that is what triggers the relapses, which suck, and I've had several times throughout my life. It's really bad. But yeah, so the first symptoms that I started experiencing was at the age of 11. I noticed that the right side of my body, so it was basically like someone drew a line straight down my body, and my arm wasn't working, my leg wasn't working in the sense that I didn't have any strength, and I felt weakness. I also felt numbness. So it basically felt like when your leg falls asleep or your arm falls asleep, but it never wakes up. And so my younger sister and I, we used to walk to school, and at some point I had to lean onto her to be able to walk and make it from point A to point B. And it was scary as a kid having to deal with all of this. It was scary for my parents too. We had never really heard about MS, and initially I had a misdiagnosis. I was taken to the local county hospital, and they told us that it was just bacteria in the brain, and that's what caused my symptoms. And so my parents were like, we need a second opinion. So we went to different doctors, one including in Mexico City, who all of them ended up thinking it was a mess. And it was until I was taken to a Phoenix hospital, that's when a neurologist there diagnosed me with multiple sclerosis. Recently diagnosed, everything was really crazy. The big why me started going through my head. There was no family connection. No one in my family had MS. It was really hard to accept as a kid. And then at age 13, that's when I had my worst relapse yet. I basically became a potato. I couldn't move my legs, move my arms, like my entire body was asleep. I had to use a wheelchair. It was scary. Okay. I'm gonna try to not cry a lot, because I cry a lot. I'm a very emotional person. It was hard. I was angry. I kept asking myself, why me? Kept asking God, why me? And so my parents ended up taking me to the hospital. I was flown to St. Joseph's Hospital in Phoenix, and I spent 3 months of my life at the hospital. I even did Make-A-Wish a year after, and I think they did it because I was depressed after that hospitalization. I mean, after that hospitalization and during the hospitalization. But it was really cute. They took me shopping and they gave me a bass from my favorite band at the time when I was into the whole emo phase. From Fall Out Boy, Pete Wentz, he was my favorite. I was obsessed with him. And so they gave me the vase. It was so cool and I was so happy just because I never take it out. I literally don't even know how to use it, which I should learn how to use it. But this is the vase that Make-A-Wish gave me. It was so cute. It's by Fender. And Pete Wentz actually signed it. I was so happy. It was a great, thoughtful gift. I was very grateful. After the hospitalization, when I was 13, I went through a lot of emotions, but particularly I was very sad and very angry, and I kind of saw that as my dark period. Mental health is definitely a big thing with MS. I feel like you're constantly having to deal with a surge of emotions and dealing with a lot at once, and unfortunately MS is invisible. People would never know you had MS. I know that for a fact because I've had people make comments, strangers and friends, where they say, well, you don't even look sick, or well, it's not that bad, you can't even see it, or you look great for someone that has MS. And I've even had the occasional, is it contagious? Since I did get diagnosed really young, talking to people about MS, talking to other young people about having MS is hard, because I feel like when you're young, you're not constantly thinking about your health and going to regular doctor checkups and getting blood work done and going to infusion appointments and dealing if you're JVC positive, which if you have MS you would understand what that means, but it's just, it's hard. It's hard trying to relate to people when they aren't dealing with these kind of things. There's this birthday card that I always refer to whenever I'm feeling sad. My sister gave it to me. My hair's like all over the place, it's so messy. My sister gave it to me for my 25th birthday, and there's this one line that I always read. It says, stop being afraid of living. It says, stop being afraid of living, breathe. Everything always works out in the end. There's a lot more, but I always read that. I always read that and it makes me think, you could do so much more. Stop impeding yourself from doing so much more. Life is all about taking risks, and I did that recently and I fell flat in my face, and that's fine. I've learned that mistakes need to be made so that I can learn. MS literally kicks my ass. MS is sneaky. You never know what it's going to do to you. Unfortunately, MS is different for everyone. It sucks, but that's just the way it is. I've been to hell and back these last 2 months, but I'm learning a lot more about it, and that's one thing that I want to focus on with this channel. I want to meet more people that have MS. I want to be able to get to know others that are dealing with the same thing that I'm dealing with. I've always felt alone in this journey. I've never really had someone that I've been able to like talk to. My goal for this channel is to share my experience and maybe help someone that's kind of going through what I went through when I was 11 years old. Questioning everything, not knowing what was gonna happen next, when you were gonna have the next relapse, if you were gonna be able to bounce back, what to do when you're having the relapse, the symptoms. It's scary. It's scary. I definitely want to meet more people of color that have MS. I feel like we need a bigger community. I want to show the good, the bad, the ugly. Show my reality of what it's like to live with MS. And my MS, I've had it for 15 years now, and even then I know nothing. It's like I basically started from scratch. And although my MS has kind of become a big part of who I am, it doesn't define me. And that's how I also want to focus on the content that I want to start producing for this YouTube channel. I want to do vlogs. I want to talk about what it's like to travel with MS. I want to talk about the new symptoms that I'm dealing with now. I want to hear from others that are dealing with them too. How do you guys deal with them? Like, what do you do to make them easier to bear with? Working out with MS. I used to do a lot of weight training in college and throughout the years, but unfortunately at the moment I can't really do much because I get exhausted really quickly. And will that go away and will I bounce back to normal? Who knows? I hope that others that have MS want to share their experience with me too. I mean, aside from that, I do want to keep this YouTube channel as a way for me to chronicle my journey. But yeah, I mean, I hope that you guys stick around and keep watching my videos. I will plan on uploading more throughout the next couple of weeks, especially with the pandemic going on. And make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel and follow me on social media. I am on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you guys sticking around till the end of the video, watching all of it. It really means a lot to me.